Well, ammo sales rise in California ahead of the new gun law. That's in people in California are reportedly stockpiling ammo ahead of the new state law that will put stricter regulations on their purchases. KTLA-TV notes that the law, called Proposition 63, goes into effect July 1st and will require ammo buyers to go through a background check and show ID. The screening was created to keep ammunition out of the hands of felons or people with illegal firearms, according to the site. People with illegal firearms. Gee, what does that mean? Yeah, well, anyway, let's get to the point of this. Where in the hell is Congress? They took an oath of office that they would uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States to the best of their ability. Now, Congress is doing nothing. All Congress is doing is aggravating, menacing the Constitution, the foundation of America. That's what they're doing. It's aggravated, menacing by not doing anything. And like I said, the Congress people took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Now, we have 17, 18-year-old kids in the military who took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Same one. It's their duty to defend the United States. Both the Congress and the soldiers. It's their duty. They're not upholding their duty. Therefore, get rid of them. Impeach every one of them. Pelosi, Feinstein, Boxer, Schumer, Marco Rubio, Lindsey Graham, and the list goes on and on and on and on. They don't understand the Constitution to begin with, and they're up there writing laws. Now, they've been putting everything in the Commerce Clause. In the Commerce Clause, the original intent in Federalist Number 22 and 42 stipulates that it was put in place only to stop the states from putting taxes and extra tariffs on free-moving goods. That's what the Commerce Clause was. It wasn't intended to use as a support mechanism to push firearm laws. They have no constitutional authority to do that. They are constitutionally barred from infringing upon your rights. And I'm sorry, but neither Congress nor our damn Supreme Court, who you're supposed to look up to, have any kind of knowledge of this, and they don't dwell into it. What they do is they go by, well, okay, another federal judge said this. And when you start making the judges the law instead of the Constitution, you're already breaking the law. There's no stipulation in the Constitution that grants authority to the Congress to pass any kind of federal firearm laws. Period. Never has been. Now, they stuck Obamacare also under the Commerce Clause. I'm sorry, but there's a problem there. You know, the Second Amendment to our Constitution recognizes that we have a God-given right to keep and bear arms, and it's to be free from any interference whatsoever from the federal government. Our framers are smart. Accordingly, the federal government is nowhere in the Constitution granted authority to abridge, restrict, or infringe in any fashion whatsoever guns, ammunition, etc. Thus, all restrictive laws made by Congress, all regulations made by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms are unconstitutionally outside the scope of powers granted to Congress and to the executive branch by our Constitution. Restrictions of arms and ammunition is not one of the enumerated powers delegated to Congress or the executive branch. Look at the Second Amendment, people. Look, note after the word infringe in the Second Amendment. There is no subparagraph A, B, C, D, or E which would stipulate what an acceptable infringement would be. So all infringements is forbidden. You know, it don't take a lawyer to figure this out. If you read the Constitution, which more people are doing nowadays than they did back when Bill Clinton was in there, because Bill Clinton and his Department of Justice was going around saying, well, if you have Bible studies, if you believe in the Bible, if you believe in the Constitution, you're enemies of the state. And it scared a lot of people into not reading the Constitution. This is truth. This is the absolute truth. If you read the Constitution, you'll find out, and it don't take a lawyer to understand this. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution ratifies and preserves for every citizen the right to keep and bear arms, and moreover, that Congress or any other instrument of the federal government is constitutionally barred from infringing that right. Now, I was talking about the Commerce Clause, and that's the key to all this crap. That's where they're saying that they have authority, and they have no authority. If you look at, like I said, the Federalist Papers, number 22 and 42, okay, which was written before the Constitution was ratified in 1791. The papers came out before that, and they are used, the Virginia Law School has those papers on hand since 1825 so that people could go in there and study them. They don't study things anymore. When they go to learn about the Constitution, they only study about what other judges said about the Constitution, thus making that judge the law and not the Constitution. Now, if you look things up, in law, the best evidence rule states that if an original document or any other original item of proof is available, it is to be accorded a higher degree of credibility in the courtroom than a copy of other second-hand proof. That's where your Federalist Papers and your Declaration of Independence comes into play. Congress does not have the authority, it's beyond the scope of their authority, to pass any kind of firearm laws. Now, like I said, if our soldiers take an oath of duty and they're fighting for your country, and you're telling me that the Congress can't do the same thing and stand up for the Declaration, or stand up for the Constitution, that's their oath. They took it. It's their duty. If they're not going to do their duty, why are they in there? If you don't do your duty in the service, you're imprisoned or shot. You are disciplined. And Congress has not been doing their duty or their oath of office. Now, this thing about what's going on in California, Congress should step up and tell California, hey, you can't do that. It's against the Constitution. Okay, people, thanks for watching. But that's what's going on in this country. You know, if you're not pro-Constitution, you are anti-American. You're as communist as the agenda that we're supposed to be fighting. People like Kamala Harris, Schumer, Feinstein, Pelosi. I don't know if Bob Barr's on our side or that other ATF guy that they just put in there, but they're supposed to be anti-gun. They got no business in politics. None. None whatsoever. If they're not going to uphold the laws of the Constitution, get the hell out of office. Thanks for watching.